Gates Adams here on behalf of Apex Trader Funding, and I'm here today with Jahanzeb. And I want to first and foremost tell you I'm excited to have a chance to speak with you. You definitely gave me my challenge today with pronunciation, so thanks for bearing with me if I was off a little bit on that. But
you did pretty good, man. You did pretty good.
Awesome. Well, thank you for that. So welcome, and again, thank you for taking some time with me today. Now, let's get a little bit of background on you. So I think you told me before we started this is your first payout with Apex, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
100%.
So how long have you actually been trading at this point?
So I started my trading journey back in 2017,
Okay.
But I started with stocks and options. I actually got into futures not too long ago, maybe like 6-7 months ago.
Okay.
I started with, just paper trading, a lot of paper trading, just because I realized that, the strategies you use in options and stocks are not going to really necessarily work here. Like blink of an eye, you can lose a lot of money.
Right.
So, just kind of started trading, kind of understood the dynamic of, NQ and ES and kind of like the different ways of trading futures and the different indices that you can trade. Then as I kind of got an understanding, that's when I kind of found out about prop firms, which I wasn't aware of. So then I started kind of doing my research on which one I want to go with. And that's around that time that Apex actually just launched their, I think it was like the $1 Million Day Trader promo, which was like huge. I was like, okay. Didn't use it so well in the beginning because it just, it seemed so cheap in my head for, what the cost was. And, obviously you guys are great for having that I started putting through accounts in the beginning. I was just very impatient and, I think everyone has that journey at some point where they got to learn to become patient and be like, okay, I'll get there eventually. And, once I kind of just start finding my trading style and stuff, I eventually ended up getting a PA account, burnt that account. Unfortunately, got another PA account, burnt that account too. And then on the third try is when I finally came out of the whole emotional mindset that I once had left behind when I was doing options trading. But, when you do something new and, you're kind of trying things out, I feel like, that whole emotional aspect does come back. So I'm very grateful that I kind of figured it out. I found my way and then kind of just started slowly progressing that account to where it is today.
Well, and I think you nailed the key there, obviously moving slowly instead of trying to get it all done in one day. I love the 1 day to pass promo, and that's great for evaluations, but for trying to trade that same way in a PA obviously can have devastating effects. But obviously this is a journey that is, it's been ongoing for a little while. It's been growing. Now, at this point, you've traded stocks, you've traded options, now you're trading futures. Where do you land? What do you like about trading futures over some of the other instruments you've dealt with?
I think the stock market is a scam now. I'm not gonna lie. I think a lot of it, what it was, is when I heavily traded options. That you could say that my portfolio used to be 80% options and 20% actual long-term stocks. And after kind of learning about futures and understanding futures, with stocks, after 3 p.m., man, if you're in a position, and I was predominantly a swing trader. So anyone that's wondering what that is, you kind of buy into a position, you wait a day or two to actually sell it off.
Right.
So swing trading could keep you up all night because you're just kind of looking at this S&P 500, seeing where it's moving, and you can't do anything about it.
Right.
If after 3 p.m. like yesterday, everything tanked, you're screwed, dude, and you're screwed, but you can't do about it. You're just you're holding on to this emotional hope. And I think that's what the stock market brings out of you. Whereas with futures, you can be in and out in 15 minutes, 5 minutes, do quick scalps, hit your daily targets, and you have a span period of 5 p.m. to 3 p.m., 4 p.m. the next day to do it. So I think what futures has taught me is to be a lot more laid back. I don't have to run after positions. I don't have to run, if I miss something, it's cool, dude. I have 11 more hours, something else is gonna come. Whereas with the stock market, especially if you wake up as a swing trader and you're losing money, now the whole day you're just trying to find that position, and you might even force yourself to enter something that's actually not there. So I think that's one of the biggest things with futures that I just fell in love with, and it gave me the autonomy to trade based if you're someone who works a lot during the day, well, you can still trade at night. You're not binded by that thing. Hate Saturdays, of course, because you can't trade at all. But you know what I mean, But other than that, Sunday through Friday, you have the autonomy and the ability to do it. And it's great that, in a platform like Apex allows you to, some people's cutoff time is like 3 p.m., 2 p.m. There's all these different things. Apex has it till 4 p.m., which is, pretty much kind of like all the way until the end. So, it's love, man. It's love, and I love it. I love every part of it. And I think the hardest thing is obviously finding that strategy that works. I think I burnt a lot of my accounts finding that correct strategy, because like I said, like with options, it's very different. But once you find what works for you, and it could be different for everyone, it's very quick. It could be in and outs, 5-minute scalps, 10-minute scalps. You're looking at the hourly chart. You're kind of seeing a time frame that works for you, and you kind of get in and out, and now you have the whole day to relax and chill, because you also have to make sure that you're hitting your consistency targets.
You make a great point that there's obviously a lot of different strategies, a lot of different ways that you can trade, and you've got to find what works with your risk tolerance, with your emotional tolerance, and your mindset. What was it for you that where did you, without necessarily specifics, how did you find the strategy that worked for you? Was it like YouTube? Was it a course? Did you just develop it based on other knowledge?
A little bit of Reddit, just to kind of understand what future strategies were out there. And a lot of it was taking my own strategies that I used in options and stock trading and tweaking the time frames, tweaking the settings of my MACD, for example, my stochastics, using, using certain trading indicators that you have to buy, that you can that can help me with, like, there's this one trading indicator that I bought. The reason I bought it was purely because of their they kind of chart out the whole levels for you.
Right.
So on different intervals. And that's something that now I don't have to sit down and try and make levels and try and make exit points and entry points, because that's doing that for me. So that allows me to focus on my other indicators. And when everything lines up, it becomes a lot easier to kind of just enter those trades and exit those trades. But I just think overall, the market is not like a single line. Like, there's so many ups and downs, right? Certain times you'll realize that these indicators are not working, but I think you just have to sometimes stay very true to, what you believe in. I've had this point where before it was like an emotional attachment to, like, oh man, I'm in a loss, like, but I hope it turns around. Whereas now it's like, I'm in a loss. This is my stop loss. I know everything is set up for me to succeed. This is going to turn around. And there's been times where I've been down, 4 or 5 grand. I mean, I have a 250K account, so just put it in perspective.
Sure, fair perspective there, yeah.
Yeah, I needed to give that perspective. So I've been down 4 or 5 grand, but I've ended up profiting, 4 or 5 grand, or 2 grand or 3 grand, and I find an exit point. So very important to execute your stop losses, but also know that, I know exactly how this, strategy has worked. And I'm very thankful, because I'm so like, what I found for myself, the strategy I'm so confident in, I haven't had a single losing day in these past 21 days.
That's pretty exciting.
Not a single losing day. So, like, if something's working for you, don't get too comfortable with it either. I still back test. I still look at other ways to improve my strategy, because, like, for example, the current market conditions, anything can happen, right? Like, anything can change. But what's great about futures is you don't have to necessarily look at always a long time frame. Obviously, you want to look at trends, but you know that you're going in and out. You're not trying to hold for a day, or you don't want to buy one contract and wake up and hope that it's up 15 grand, because then there's a good chance it could be down 20 grand.
I can't even imagine holding a position overnight just from the sleep factor. I don't think I can do it. That's not for me. I know some people love it. Definitely not for me. So at this point, we've kind of hit that first milestone. Where do you see your journey going from here? What's next for you?
I'm very content with one account. I know Apex allows up to 20. I'm going to slowly add accounts. My plan is to start another start another evaluation for another 250K account, and kind of see where that takes me, things like that, and ramp up from there. I think what's really nice, and this is what I would recommend to everyone, when you start off, just start off with one account.
Yeah.
If you can, I know you're allowed 20 in Apex. Start with one account, because what it is once you have that one account and into a funded account and you're getting payouts from it, when you start another evaluation account, all of a sudden that urgency to start making money goes away.
Right.
Because now it's about just making more money, but you're still making money. You know what I mean? Sure. So my next goal is to start another 250K eval account at I think they still have the one day. I'm not going to try and hit it in one day. You know, now I'm going to take my time and kind of just, just trade as I'm trading my funded account, because that way I'm going to consistently be able to grow it. And then when that transition happens, and what I would recommend to everyone, that ends up listening to this interview is, dude, like, once there's a certain threshold, like once you are up 60, 70, 80, 90K from your starting point and, you're at a static, it's very hard to lose an account. Like, then you're good. Just, start trusting and, still keep your consistency in mind and consistently grow. Like, you getting a payout, twice a month. If you have a daily consistent target, for me, it's 3K. Mm-hmm. In 10 days, I'm already up 30K. Like, you just have to think about it from the day perspective. Don't get too greedy. Don't try and hit 10K a day, because then you're gonna have to hit 10K a day for 10 days. And that's why there's a lot of people who bash the consistency, targets and percentage. Mm-hmm. And it's all bullshit, dude. If you're a good trader, you'll love the aspect of having this consistency targets put in place, because it's going to control you and make you into a more better and more patient trader.
Sure.
And at the end of the day, you're still making money. Right. And your payout is still coming at 15 days later. So why do you need to make 20K in one day?
Right.
So I think it's a lot about that. But yeah, for me, the next journey is to slowly add on more accounts. Don't want to bite more than I can chew. And then eventually, obviously, slowly then, have my own personal account too, where I'm, also trading on and whatnot, using for my payouts. So yeah, I look forward to be a long and eventful journey.
Well, I love it, man. It sounds like you're obviously doing a lot of the right things. That consistency is important. It will always make you a better trader if you can focus on that piece of the puzzle. Well, man, I appreciate you spending some time with me today, and I look forward to getting an update here pretty soon.
Yeah, sounds good, man.
All right, we'll talk to you soon.